So, I know I'm supposed to be making videos on Arcane, but I quickly wanted to make a video talking about the new League update because I haven't seen this much positivity around League in a while. I mean, yes, there are some negative sides. For example, people are torn on the new Viktor. And surprisingly, there is a lot of negativity around the new Gacha Jinx skin. But besides those, there is nothing but awesomeness coming to League. And it doesn't matter if you are a casual player or a ranked climber. So without further ado, let's have a look at why everyone is so excited about the new patch. So, right after Arcane's finale dropped, we got a new dev update on League of Legends. And as always, it starts with Meddler and Pabro popping up on the screen, as they give us the last update of the year. And they begin by warning everyone that this patch indeed comes with some Arcane spoilers. Which obviously is also the case for this video. And so, just like when Arcane Season 1 dropped, we got the Caitlyn ASU, this time around we are also getting an update, but now it is a Viktor VGU. And already we can find the new Viktor on PBE. The thing is, this big update also became a really big talking point around the internet. And that is simply because, in isolation, the new Viktor is awesome. If this came out as a new champion, it is incredibly good. But the problem is, it is not a new champion. And it is quite far away from the original. So now people are 50-50 torn on the new Viktor. And I really mean, it seems like this is about an equal split of people who like it and people who don't. In fact, this drama is so big, I might have to dive into this one in a separate video. But in short, yes, the new Viktor is awesome. And yes, it has pretty much nothing to do with the old one. And in fact, I would say that as a champion in the game, the old one kinda looked better. But that's mostly because I'm not a massive fan of the new slender look of the new one. I love the mask and I love the body horror on this one is amazing. But in-game, doesn't exactly land. If anything, Riot really should have given Viktor a traditional skin here. And more on that, I believe that should be their new policy. It is fine to give a new design to an old champion, especially if they were designed in 2011, and their design used to be the stereotypical Dr. Doom. Yes, the problems with the original Viktor were actually deeper than people thought. It kinda undermined copyright and IP and stuff like that. But regardless, if you do this, still give people at least a little bit of what we had before. A traditional skin here might have done wonders. But again, this might be a whole separate video too. So yes, Viktor got a VGU, but when it comes to the gameplay, Riot tried new things. But after talking to the Viktor mains, they mostly got negative feedback. Which is why they decided to stay with the kit he has now. With the only exception being that his ultimate now grows in size with every takedown. Now, when it comes to skins, again, some are quite a hit or miss. But among these, the new prototype Viktor is a bit more of an upgrade, which is why it will be raised from 550 RP to 750 RP. Whether that one is worth it, that's up to you to decide, I guess. But next, we get 100-piece nuggets and MacGyver to talk about the new seasons. Of course, we know that in the past, events were usually driven by new worlds, be it Star Guardian or High Noon or Darkstar. But to take this kind of immersion even further, they introduced the new seasonal system. So now we will be getting 3 seasons per year, with every season having 2 acts, and with every act having 8 different patches. Each of these seasons will have their own theme, and the themes will be bridged between the seasons, so they all make one narrative storyline. Yes, expect League's lore to make a giant comeback. I would expect nothing less. And yes, the theme of the season will serve as the anchor for all content that will drop. So, for example, in the past we got stuff like Odyssey or Swarm, but both of these were quite isolated. Now, everything will be part of that one theme. This might expect stuff like gameplay updates, client minigames, game modes, new champions, and even skins will collaborate with all of this. But don't worry, we will also keep getting skins outside of these themes too. So your classic Star Guardians and Beasts and whatever else is still coming to League. And this is where it was revealed that the first season will be based on Noxus, with the name of the season simply being Welcome to Noxus, which makes sense. We've all seen Arcane, right? So next, Riot Oberon and Frogzone pop up, and they reveal the big update that is happening to Summoner's Rift. That's right! Map skins are finally back. It has been many years of people crying for a winter skin. And while this is not exactly snowy, it is exactly what people were looking for. So yes, first we are diving into Noxus with new Noxian merchants and overall just a muddier environment, because that is exactly how I would imagine Noxus. But there will also be some Black Rose surprises. Now first, they talked about a new item update. No, don't worry, there will not be a new item system, because those never worked, but there are some new boots upgrades. Specifically, going from top left to bottom right, I believe it is Berserker's Graves, which are Samira's boots, then Sorcerer's Shoes, Mercury's Treads, Plated Steel Caps, Ionian Boots of Lucidity, Synchronized Souls, and Boots of Swiftness. And all of these are tied to a new mechanic called Feats of Strength. I hope the feats is a very intended pun. Anyway, these feats are rewarded for 3 separate objectives. First Blood, First Tower, and the first 3 of the epic jungle monsters. If you get at least 2 of these objectives, your boots get more stats, after which you can upgrade them to an entire new item. The point of this system is very simple. They wanna give early aggression some bonuses without allowing the players to entirely snowball the games. But since everyone would be getting more aggressive, on the other side they are also taking back a little bit. Nexus turrets will now respawn after some time. This makes sense, because basically the moment you lost your Nexus turrets, the game was pretty much over. I mean, we have all won games where we lost our Nexus turrets, but we all know we were fighting impossible odds. And at the end of the day, we were just waiting for a miracle to happen. So now, even after getting your Nexus exposed, you have a way better chance of actually getting back into the game. And yes, in the dev update, that was an X-Packy reference. Now, when it comes to runes, we do also get some new minor runes. Domination got 3 new ones, such as Sixth Sense. This one automatically reveals a ward that is nearby. There is Grizzly Mementos, which allows you to collect mementos from kills, and for every memento your cooldown on your trinket goes down. And Deep Ward, which gives your ward extra health and extra duration if it is on the opponent's side. But there is also one new rune for sorcery, called Axiom Arcanist, which just reduces the cooldown on your ultimate for every takedown. After this, it was confirmed that some tank items are getting small scope updates, and Bloodletter's Curse became a new item, or at least it was put here from the arena game mode, which is essentially a magic resistance shredding item, similar to Black Cleaver. After which, we got to the biggest change of this season. There is a whole new jungle monster called Atakan, the Bringer of Ruin. Of course, some of you may know about Atakan, because he first appeared in Legends of Runeterra. Now, as you can see, originally he was supposed to have a helmet and some kind of armor. However, that is what the demon looks like when it is enslaved by the Black Rose. But here, it does not seem to be enslaved, which is why you can see the helmet on the ground. Now, if you want some background for this demon, Atakan was one of 2 demons which Mordekaiser used to conquer the world, with the other demon being Tybulk, which is the demon inside Annie now. So there is a lot of lore behind this creature. And gameplay-wise, Atakan spawns in the river, on the side which has seen the most kills. After he spawns, you will start to see roses blooming around dead bodies, so the more deaths, the more roses pop up. And these serve as a mini objective, where every rose gives you petals, which gives you XP and a little bit of power. On top of this, depending on how many kills happen in a game, Atakan can have 2 different forms. The Ruinous version pops up in games that have a higher kill count. This form deals a lot of damage to enemies who are further away. For killing this version, you get a lot of XP from the petals of the roses, but also more roses just spawn around. But then there is also Voracious Atakan, who spawns when there are not a lot of kills. This version has a lot less damage, but it has a lot of lifesteal at low health. And after killing this version, everyone on your team gets a one-time Guardian Angel. after which we learned about why these objectives were put in the game. Previously, there was a big gap after Baron spawned. Not a lot of people could take Baron down once it spawned, which means everyone was focusing on dragons. But now, they just added in a bigger challenge to fill that gap. Which also means, yes, Baron will spawn a little bit later into the game. Also, the team is hoping that the two versions of Arakan as well as the changing spawn point will give the game some variety. Lastly, important to mention, while Arakan joins the game as part of the season, he will stay in the game. Arakan as well as all the other updates are meant to stay permanently. However, as always, they are ready to listen to feedback. I mean, we all know what happened to the original Chemtech Drake, after which we go back to Meddler and Pabro. Here they mentioned that after they updated seasons, and after they updated all the systems, suddenly there was a lot of issues that started piling up. I mean, as they introduced achievements and Eternals and loot boxes and shards and essences and tokens, the progression system just got all over the place. So now, here's a big fix. There will always be one battle pass active. This pass will have both a free and a paid version, and all the usual event rewards will come from that. Which means they are removing tokens and they are removing the shop. Now, there will be two separate passes in a season following the two acts, with all the previous progression systems essentially joining the same one. This also includes the honor system. Now, with higher honor, you simply earn your passes faster. But here's the kicker. The free pass doesn't just have blue essence and mystery emotes like what we would expect. Instead, every pass will have two free skins, with one of them always being themed after the season. So now, since we got a Noxian season, we can expect one Noxian skin for free, which means we are getting 12 free skins per year. And since everything is tied into the same season, Masterwork chests are getting taken away, and instead orbs will be just permanently available. Simply said, they want the pass to be the main vessel for all of their progression. And honestly, it looks quite good. But next, they also talk about the rank seasons. Yes, these are slightly separate, and yes, apparently there was a lot of talks about this. But in the end, they decided to give us only one ranked reset per year, just like it used to be. We are not even getting any smaller mid-year resets. It is just one reset in January, and that's it. So in the end, they figured out the original version of the ranked system just worked the best. However, we will still get 3 separate victorious skins. All you need to do is just win 15 games in that season to get it. But again, your rank doesn't reset. Next, some regions will also get to test out Swift Play, which is trying to replace Quick Play. Swift Play is essentially a low-stakes game of Summoner's Rift. It is faster, it is meant to be more casual, so expect stuff like passive gold and XP throughout the entire game. So stuff like last hitting is now more of an added bonus. So we'll see how that mode goes. Next, they did also promise they will try out multiplayer practice tools. I know a lot of people asked for this one, even though it was mostly for bug hunting. So we'll see how much this one breaks the game. And lastly, there is one tiny thing on patches. Patches will now be named according to when they dropped. So instead of a patch 15.1, which we are getting at the beginning of the year, we will get patch 25.s1.1. This means we are getting a patch in 2025, in Season 1, and it is patch number 1. From the logistics perspective, yes, it is now so easy to find when different patches dropped. And that is pretty much it for this update. Next time we will get an update, it should be at the beginning of the next season, which is when we are also getting the season start cinematic. And yes, obviously, that one will also have Noxian ties. But putting on my thinking cap, it should be obvious that the Black Rose will be involved to some degree, which also means that yes, Atakan might possibly be there as well. So make your own bingo cards for all the champions that will be there. Swain? Sure. Mordekaiser? Possibly. Kled? I'm not sure about that one because everyone forgets about him.